Good morning, good afternoon, guys. Welcome back for another Geek Tavern. As always, it's me, Shawn. I'm joined by Mike.
Hello.
And Aaron.
Hey.
And today we are talking about Aaron's favorite movie of all time. His recommendation.
What's up?
Mighty Joe Young.
Favorite of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah, his
I mean, we're talking higher than The Thing, higher than The Godfather, top tier.
Higher than King Kong on the Empire State Building.
Top tier kaiju movie.
Okay. So if you just want to start us off.
Sure. This is the 1998 remake of Mighty Joe Young, which was originally a Ray Harryhausen stop motion animation monster movie about a giant gorilla that is found in Africa, befriends a little girl, and basically it's the same plot as this one, the original. So the mother dies.
Okay.
I don't think by poachers in the first one.
Oh, okay.
But the gorilla and her share a bond because both their mothers died, and she takes care of him and protects him from poachers and people who would love to get their hands on him as a trophy. And it's basically the same plot in this one, except with a bigger budget. And Charlize Theron and Bill Paxton in the leads. And Rick Baker in a wonderful gorilla costume. Once again, this is the second time.
A gorilla costume that he wanted to be what year was it? 1975?
1976.
76.
Yeah.
King Kong.
The King Kong. Yeah.
That was like his vision, but he wasn't able to do it or whatever.
Because that ended up being a giant animatronic that they used in the Jeff Bridges King Kong, and it did not work. Like, it was like the shark in Jaws. It did not work the way that they wanted it to.
I still have not watched that movie.
The Jeff Bridges one?
Yeah.
There's like a bunch of shots where the robot like is shown for a split second in scenes. Like, there's like one where it's like arms are like dropping like bars, and it like drops them, and then it cuts back, and it's just Rick Baker in the costume, just like roaring or whatever. Like, the costume looks great. Anything Rick Baker does with like a gorilla suit looks fantastic. And I will say that the visual effects in this movie really hold up.
They do. They
genuinely
do.
Yeah, even the CGI like does not look
outdated
or anything.
I was gonna say, is there even much CGI? It seems more of like a composite of like him in a suit, and they just made him like huge.
Yeah.
Like
it
could be like extreme close-ups of him doing shit, and then they just composite him into like the other stuff.
Well, and then, like even the running ones, like it's bright daylight, and he's running down like a field, and it does not look like CGI. I mean, you can tell it's CGI.
You can kind of tell where the feet and the arms meet the
ground. But it's
ground.
extremely well done.
Yeah, there's occasional ones like whenever he's getting off the truck to go to the preserve.
Yeah,
like that scene. It's like, this is obviously being fake, but it's not like it doesn't like take me out of the movie.
No.
So Charlize Theron's character Jill protects Joe, and he gets his namesake from her last name, Young. And her mother, at the beginning of the movie, her mother is called out because there are poachers in the forest where their gorilla sanctuary is, and she gets called out. They chase down the poachers but they can't before the poachers kill Joe's mom. And then he kind of exacts his revenge by biting off the poacher's thumb and trigger finger. And then Ruth comes in to save Jill and Joe, and then ends up getting shot by the poachers before they flee. And then she dies the same night, and then Jill takes care of Joe for
15 years.
15 years.
12.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I remembered a fact, so I threw it out there.
I was like sitting here and I'm like 20 odd years. Like,
I remember it was a teen number. I can't remember which one though.
And then Bill Paxton shows up to search for the fabled Ingaizamu, which is like a mythical god of the mountain. But Joe kind of personifies that god, and they believe that he exists. And then we have Saeed from Lost.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Bundy.
Yeah. Yeah, Pindy is played by Naveen Andrews, who was Saeed on Lost. And then another one, Mike, I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Snatch.
No.
But
it's good.
Yeah.
The guy, the Lithuanian poacher, I forget what his name is.
Yeah.
But I remember Garth.
Garth
is his South African counterpart. But he... whatever he is, or that guy is, what was his name? Boris? Was it Boris the Butcher?
Bullet Dodger.
Bullet Dodger, yeah. From Snatch. Because, like, I was waiting for you to, like, pick up on that, that guy was.
I recognized him, I just couldn't place it.
Yeah. But yeah, he's the poacher who finds out about Joe and then wants to con Jill into giving him Joe so that he can kill him and like sell him off.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I don't understand is like, so Garth and him want to kidnap Joe when he's obviously mature and giant, and they want to harvest his organs and sell his organs. You think that they would make a shit ton more money just like selling him?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Like, oh, we're just gonna. I mean, maybe like his teeth or like something, but like,
and I think that's part of the trick is like if they have him there, then if they sell him elsewhere, then they're gonna find out that he obviously is somewhere else because how the fuck you gonna hide a 18-foot tall gorilla?
Yeah, you can hide parts and then send them out.
Yeah,
probably easier. I guess. Right.
Yeah. And then when somebody shows up, they're like, "Oh, can we see him?" And he's like, "He's not coming out today. Nope, sorry." Like,
I will say they have incredibly insidious workshop that they're doing where they're up front as like a vast nature preserve, but they're like getting donations of like these endangered animals,
like a panda.
Yeah,
like the guy who shows up like asking about,
and he's like, "Oh, how much can we get for him on the black market?" It's like, oh my god, they're like literally like getting these donations and then chopping these animals up and selling them on the black market. I was like, Jesus Christ, they are villainous.
Oh yeah.
And,
well, up until Garth finally gains a conscience.
Yeah, it's so strange that he gets son of like a pseudo redemption where he's like, we don't kill humans, only animals.
Yeah.
Except for that one time that he did.
Yeah.
But that was an accident.
I guess it was. But...
Was it even an accident?
I don't know. He was shooting.
It wasn't even an accident because he like pulled up the gun and he went like and like shot towards.
He's shooting one-handed because you know.
Did he anticipate to hit her? Probably not, but he gave it his best crack and ended up killing her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say that I enjoyed the movie for at least the first until the third act. I really enjoyed the movie.
The third act kind of like stops for me.
Yeah.
Like I thought the
stuff in Africa was awesome.
Oh yeah.
And then even like whenever they bring him to LA and he's on the nature preserve, I was like, okay, I like this stuff too. But as soon as he like broke out and was just doing like shit in the city, I was like, I don't fucking care about any of this. Like
it's the same King Kong.
Yeah, it's literally King Kong.
Literally King Kong.
Oh yeah, it's definitely what I thought of.
Which I was trying to brainstorm like while watching it. I was like, I was really enjoying the movie up until that part. And you kind of need like that part where Jill's duped and then like taken by the poachers. Like you need that in the movie. But like, what is a better way to end the movie than just having him rampage through a city? Like I was trying to think of like a better conclusion to the movie than that.
I wouldn't even say he was rampaging.
Well, yeah, he was just like walking through.
It was more like, what the hell is that? What's that? Like,
yeah, he was in the concrete.
But I found all that shit so uninteresting. Just like
I don't know.
Well, I think there are a couple nice nods in there. Like in the what is it, like the gala thing that they're holding, the benefit dinner. The two older people in there. Whenever the one woman says that Jill looks beautiful, and she goes, "She reminds me of somebody." That is the original Jill, and the old man who's with her is Ray Harryhausen.
Oh, okay.
So there's that. But there's also Joe climbing up Grauman's Chinese Theater, which is where Ray Harryhausen watched King Kong in 1933 and decided he wanted to make movies like that. So there are like a couple like nice little that set piece has to be there, like just as that little nod, like it has that little bit of history. But no, yeah, for him to rampage, it's the Lost World Jurassic Park, which was 1 year prior. Well, I mean, it's King Kong.
Yeah,
Take giant ape, bring him to city, put him on display, gets angry, breaks out.
Yeah, even the like motivations of like bringing him to the civilization are altruistic and trying to literally save him from being poached and like killed. But the fact that it's manipulated by the two poachers to have him go on this rampage, it's like, oh, we've seen this like how many times already? Like, come up with something different.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is basically the Kong story.
Which I mean,
he's just much smaller, and instead of befriending,
gentler, honestly.
Yeah. Instead of befriending the woman, like later, it's like a lifelong friendship or whatever.
And that's the thing about Joe too. Aside from King Kong, at least in the original interpretations of King Kong, like the original and Peter Jackson's, he's not like super smart. He's just literally like a giant gorilla.
Yeah.
But in this, he's like really fucking smart, like a hyper intelligent gorilla.
Probably just because of all that interaction.
Human interaction.
Yeah. Which her mom kind of warned her about, like you shouldn't interact with them.
Yeah.
Very frequently or whatever she said.
Why? He just became a super smart gorilla.
Yeah.
He became a super smart gorilla that recognizes when there's a child stuck in a Ferris wheel at the very top.
I'm surprised, honestly, that they didn't have her like signing to him or anything like that. Like just to like show how smart he is even more.
Right.
Like he obviously
he just seems to understand words in general.
Yeah. Just like her speaking to him, he understood. Like he would like play hide and seek, and like he got mad whenever he would see people like taking his picture. He's like, I'm not supposed to be seen. And he'd freak out. Like, I don't know. It's pretty wild.
And and then seeing Bill Paxton chasing after and just like grabs him and like hoists him up by his leg.
That was one scene that looked a little janky.
It did a little bit, yeah.
Whenever he's holding Bill Paxton up and he's like shaking him. I
did notice some something looked off a little bit, but
they drops him right on his head.
Yeah, surprised he isn't dead.
So I've always
Stone Cold Star
or
Tombstone.
I've always liked Bill Paxton, obviously, but just knowing, because when you suggested this, Shane said that Matt LeBlanc was supposed to be Bill Paxton's character. I couldn't even imagine that after watching.
Oh,
no.
Like, it's such a
Bill Paxton,
the way Bill Paxton plays the character, and I think it's something that it's just his voice, like just the way he gives lines in any movie, like it makes the character. So, I can't even imagine it as something else, you know.
Probably because Matt LeBlanc is obviously his like namesake is from Friends.
Yeah,
he's like like the butt of every joke in that.
Right,
and like he has played serious characters and whatever, but everybody recognizes him as like a comedy guy.
Right,
and just like the way that he delivers lines. But Bill Paxton, like the way that he speaks in this movie, it's like really endearing. He's like super knowledgeable and caring.
Right.
But like if you think about put Matt LeBlanc in there, he's just gonna like say every line like it's sarcastic or something. And you're gonna be like, oh, this would not fit at all.
Yeah, maybe that's how I was thinking of it. But yeah, I'm sure he would have acted different than Joey. But you know,
But being that it was the 90s, I don't know if anybody could really see him as any other like.
Because that would have been like the height of
peak.
Soaked right into everybody's brain, and they'd be like, watch it, and they'd be like, Joey! And then like when he's not funny, they're like,
why isn't he funny?
Yeah. 90s was a weird time. This movie speaks for it.
Yeah. So we mentioned briefly before we started recording, the movie's 2 hours long.
Yeah, crazy.
And it like
I don't feel that length.
Deliberately in the third act I started to feel it, but like I feel like they could shave a half hour off this movie and it would be like a much better movie.
Probably.
Because I don't want to say like the third act tanks the movie, but it really like takes a lot of like what I liked away from it. Like I liked Joe interacting with the humans and like him doing whatever. And that scene where he's like like you had mentioned, rampaging through the gala, that was like brutal. He like steps on like some dude's leg and like shatters it. Oh yeah. Like I'm like, oh my! I was shocked when I saw that. I was like, what? They put that in here?
Yeah, because a tree comes through and then he just.
Talk about shock is the poacher's death.
Oh yeah,
like that was pretty brutal.
I was surprised by that too.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal for a Disney movie.
Yeah, Joe picks him up and throws him into a transformer.
I mean, he catches...
Yeah, Optimus Prime just catches him, and he's like, yeah. No, but like, it was really... that whole thing was so weird, because there's that cop who is like in every... like
he's a cop in every movie.
Well, yeah, or he's
he was in the Fugitive.
Yes, yeah, he was the bus driver.
He was a cop. He was a security guard.
But he's like in a shit ton of stuff. Like, he's highly recognizable. Like, you see him and you're like, oh, okay, that guy. Yeah. But like, when they showed up and Joe like threw what's his face and like he dies. Well, he throws him and he's like on the wires.
Yeah.
And then like he can't hold on because it's the glove part. It slips off and he dies. But like, Jill's just like standing there, just like completely like undisturbed that Joe just killed this guy, and then the cop's like, "Ah, shit! Like now we gotta kill him." Like,
he's like, bring in the sharpshooters.
Yeah.
And then whenever she runs back to Bill Paxton, who's like putting out the fire of the carnival, and she's like, "Joe just killed such and such. We've got to go." It's like, what?
We gotta get
that
out
is
of
like
here.
A bombshell information that you just brought there.
Or like. I was trying to like imagine. I'm like, okay, there's really no way. Like, Joe just has to redeem himself here, because there's no fucking way that Jill runs up to those cops and is like, no, he killed my mom 15 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
This is just revenge. Like, it's perfectly fine. He was never prosecuted.
He killed his mom and my mom. It's fine.
He killed both our moms. It's cool. Like, there's no way. There's no way that she runs up and explains that. And they're just like, oh, okay, call him off.
Listen, there's like 15 years of history here that you're not understanding.
Oh, let's back up. Hold on.
Yeah. So obviously, I want to mention. You mentioned he was redeemed. So he saves the child, and then they're like, oh, what are we going to do with him? He can't stay here. And the most laughable ending I could think of happens, where the public just starts handing Jill money.
Yeah.
I was like,
how are we going to afford that?
I was like, what?
I got $2.
Like, okay. So, like, Joe is very gentle and everything. And I love animals. Motherfucker, I'm not walking up to you handing you money while this 18-foot giant fucking ape that could just get up and just like murder me with one swipe is laying there. Like, no, clear the area. Yeah. Like,
I was baffled that happened. I was like, what? They are just like, oh, and then it
and they make a whole fucking park out of it.
Well, no, and then the cop, like, who witnessed...
he's like, come on, we gotta give him money.
Who witnessed this gorilla murder this guy, who's like, why not?
Yeah, I was just shocked. I was like, you're gonna end the movie like that?
It's such a, like, you talk about the third act taking you out of it. It was only that moment that I was like, fucking really? Like,
I was like, what the fuck?
We're here... We're doing this now? Like,
it's so stupid. It's like the writers didn't know how to like end the story. They're like, everyone at the carnival gives them money. And then they build a sanctuary. Yeah.
Cash. Then the carnival owner who just lost all of it. It's like, here you go. Comes out the wheelbarrow, like laughable wheelbarrow full of money, and it's like, here, Joe.
I don't think. Yeah, that would be the only way to make it better is like if like a bunch of people just like started rolling up like high rollers and they're like, here, I'll give you money, and just like make it like the ultimate joke because it's like
cigars. Like there's a line like an airplane where it's like the people slapping the old lady, and they're just like coming like there's a line of people just like waiting to like give them just like fur like mink scarf people like giving money out or like. Like, and then the best part of the ending would be if, like, the carnival owner just comes out and he's like, hey, motherfuckers, give me that money. Like, you guys just destroyed my livelihood.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the carnival owner's just like, that's mine now? That's mine. You're gonna have to pay for all the damages that this big fucker just smashed through all of my shit?
I mean, I guess that wouldn't make sense, but I was thinking, what if the park that he was at, like, saw the good he did, and they, like, fronted the bill?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess that wouldn't make sense, but I was thinking, what if the park that he was at, like, saw the good he did, and they, like, fronted the bill? Yeah.
Yeah.
or something like that.
Like a cynical ending.
I mean, like, okay, gorilla saves somebody. Cool, fair enough. But the damage,
I know.
like when you boil it down,
there's no perfect way to
it's just like Godzilla. All right.
Yeah.
Does he kill the evil kaiju? Absolutely. But look at Tokyo. Yeah. It's gone.
How many people did he kill on the way to kill them?
Yeah. And I mean, like, it's a whole different story with Godzilla because it's like, well, you can't kill him, so just let him go.
Right. Can't kill him.
Yeah.
The ultimate cynic ending would be like, okay, yeah, we'll let him live, but he's gonna be my fucking attraction from now on. Yeah. It's like, he destroyed my entire carnival, so he's mine now.
Tie him up on Moron Mountain.
Yeah. I was just like, I still can't get over that.
Yeah, that's
it's such a horrible ending.
Yeah, it's the worst.
It is a bad ending.
It's terrible. I liked everything.
Yeah, so
except
like,
for that.
So like, I was already brainstorming, how could I make this ending better? And then that happened. I was like, literally, anything a 5-year-old could write something down and it would be better than that ending.
Anything would be better than just what happened.
And they just played off like nothing happened. They're like, oh, all the donations we got, we were able to build this Mighty Joe Young's ranch. It's like, what?
It was total like Jurassic Park ripoff too.
Oh yeah,
like the sign just reminded me of Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because it's like one wood structure, and then it's just like the nature preserve, and it's like just the side of the mountain. It's like,
well, yeah, and like that's the thing. Like everywhere that he was, like in the beginning of the movie, is where they like blocked it off.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, it's the same field that they had the funeral in that field too. But yeah, no, them giving the money. After the whole, like, everything, it's burning around.
It's still on fire.
Yeah.
They never got it out.
No. It's that SpongeBob and Patrick meme where it's like, good job, Joe, you saved everybody while literally the whole park is burning around them. And the cops and everybody are like, money for Joe.
One thing that I thought we were going to see is, I don't remember the character's name. Cecil, is that what her name was? The scientist. And then Harry, I think was his name, the owner or the director of like the endangered species project.
Harry.
So they obviously aided and abetted Jill and Bill Paxton's character to free Joe. So obviously they're fired immediately.
Yeah.
Right?
They were even joking like, how long until we get fired? Yeah, 6 minutes.
Yeah. And so what I thought was going to happen was like, obviously, Jill is back in Africa with Joe, and so is Bill Paxton's character. I thought that like they would bring them along because they were allies with Joe and everything, but they're just hung out to dry, you know.
I mean, Jill mentions in the whatever you call the dialogue at the end, she's like saying something about writing her to tell her finally that he's settled in or whatever.
Yeah.
So
she's like,
like that's the only little bit of payoff.
Yeah, she's like, write me whenever he's safe or settled or whatever. And it's like, she's narrating that she's that he is, and it's like, oh well, I'm homeless now. Can I come to Africa and work with you, please?
There's a reason you had to send this to a P.O. box.
But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I did enjoy the movie. I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did.
Yeah.
Like
it's a good movie. Except for the ending.
Yeah. Bill Paxton's characters, I don't remember his character's name, but Jeff or something.
Doug. No, that's not actually.
Greg.
I really don't remember.
I think it starts with a G.
I think it might actually be Greg.
Yeah. Either way, he's established as a good guy because he goes out with those poachers probably. The trackers, and they capture that cheetah, and he's just taking blood samples or whatever, and then they're going to, he's like, my friend, I have somebody that could get you $10,000 American for this, and it's like, put it in the truck. He's like, put that damn cat down, and it's like, oh, obviously he gives a shit about the animals. And I was surprised at how quickly Joe showed up at that point too, because he's like, he takes the blood sample from the cheetah, and then he just like busts through the forest, and you're like, oh, I guess the movie's starting.
Those are shots that I always love seeing in these movies, is the trees fucking shaking, like to let you know that they're coming. Like I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I have no idea how.
Like, do they just like hook up like cables to like trees via like a vehicle, and they're like, okay, truck 1 moves here, truck 2 moves here, truck 3 moves here, because you would have to have like a truck to be able to just like move that just a little bit.
Just like a trunk of a tree.
Yeah,
something.
I don't know the name of the equipment, but there is like equipment that does that to like cut them.
Yeah,
I mean,
it could be. Yeah, it could be just like the.
I don't know if it's like an auger or like a...
where it could just grab it.
Oh, yeah.
And just kind of like shake it.
Yeah, the claw.
That could be it, yeah. That's a pretty neat machine where it just like grabs on and cuts it. Like
yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but...
It grabs and cuts.
Kind of like Mike Myers.
Yeah.
So do you think that, oh fuck, I forgot his name.
Greg?
No, the South African poacher.
Garth,
yeah. Do you think that Garth
Garth went to jail.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Garth went to prison.
He's knocked out, right?
in
the car on the freeway.
Yeah, the Lithuanian guy knocks him out.
Right. And we
he
just
saved
never
Jill.
see him again.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, do you think that he learned from that, or does he take over the operation in Zimbabwe and just, he's like, I'm the head poacher now?
I don't know. He hit him pretty hard. He might just wake up and just be like, who the fuck am I?
Who am I?
I mean, he could play it off that he's kind of... Well, I don't know. Because the other guy's dead, so, like, they're not going to investigate him.
That's true.
You know? Unless
Jill decides,
Jill says something.
Yeah, because if they're like, oh, well, somebody has to answer for the dead Lithuanian guy on the Transformer.
Yeah. All these answers that we'll never get.
Yeah. You think that, like, yeah, who would be responsible for that? Would it be Jill? Because she's technically the handler of Joe. It's like, you're going to jail because your animal recklessly endangered and killed that person.
Yeah, I don't.
But then does she try to play it off as like, oh, but he killed my mom, so...
That doesn't make it okay. It's still illegal to kill people.
She didn't, though. Technically, the gorilla did.
That's what I'm saying, though.
He's not like
somebody's got to answer.
He's not like a documented citizen or anything like that. Like,
she probably isn't either.
Animal just murdered this guy.
He is a wealthy and prolific nature preserve, funder. He's the head of an organization that, while admittedly is doing shady shit, it's still like he's the face of that. It's like, that would be, I don't know, a good comparison, but like the owner of a company just like being killed. It's like, oh, somebody's answering for that. That dude was wealthy,
That's true. I don't know.
It's a stupid movie. All reality goes out the window as soon as they started giving her money for the gorilla. Not the fact that there's a 20-foot gorilla, but...
Keep in mind, we're talking about the last 2 minutes of this movie.
Literally.
Literally the last 2 minutes, and it's like, okay, I'm out.
That's the last thing you see, and then there's the dialogue at the end.
Him running through the field, yeah. Whole movie's great up until the last fucking 2
Just turn
minutes.
it off as soon as Joe wakes up, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, he wakes up and they're like, oh!
Cut it. Roll credits.
Actually, wouldn't that be the worst ending ever? If, like, the camera, like, zooms in, then Joe's like... And then it, like, cuts the credits.
That'd be
like,
way
what
better.
happens?
No, that'd
what
be way
happens?
better.
Did they kill him? Like... Are they like, well, we gotta put him down now.
He becomes evil Joe.
Eye opens and it's just red.
Yeah, he opens his eyes and it's Sith eyes.
Sith eyes.
It zooms in on Joe's face and he's like
the ultimate
Sith
crossover.
eyes.
No, that's how the credits start to roll. As you see the Sith eyes and you just hear the beginning of Duel of the Fates. It's like,
people will be like, what the fuck is this?
And then the whole wouldn't that be the greatest thing? All right, so
that's like a troll movie.
Yeah, so like he wakes up and then it starts playing like that, and then it's credits, but it's montaging with the credits. So like Joe like gets up and just starts like flailing people around, and then like cuts, and it's like more credits, and then it's just like him like bashing things, like, literally going on a rampage.
Yeah, just like completely, just like.
He just like takes the kid that he just saved, just like yucks it
like,
at the
like
camera.
Helicopter comes, like choppers come, AWACS come in, and you just like throwing like pieces of Ferris wheel at him.
Pieces of the Ferris wheel. he's like whipping around like one of the carts and like throws it into like a helicopter, blows up, more credits. It's like directed by, and then it just comes out, explodes.
People would be like, if they saw that in the movie theater, they'd be just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, because like honestly, it would be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine like people seated with their kids?
They're like, oh, that's a nice
watching it.
end
They're
of
like,
a
oh,
movie.
that's really nice. And then like he wakes up, and then they're like, what? And
Yeah,
then,
it's
like, and then like you just immediately see parents just like frantically like, trying to pick up their kids and like leave the theater as fast as possible.
And her cuts like Jill just being like, Joe! Just like screaming.
She's like
and
drops
crying.
to her knees, like credits, like cuts back, and it just shows like a tear rolling down her face. Greg's laying there just dead, like
it's like
blood all over him.
It's like the Vader no. Joe.
Yeah. Honestly, I want to see that cut.
I probably would have given it a much higher score if something like that happened, honestly.
That's like the ending to like a Seth Rogen movie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's how the ending would just go. It's just like, oh, and then like it's like the 21 Jump Street or the 22 Jump Street.
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's like all like the shit that didn't ever actually happen, but they're all like showing like all the sequels and everything. It'd be much more horrific with Joe just like killing people.
Yeah, that's a Tim Robinson sketch in the last like 20 minutes of the movie.
And it's just all interspliced with the cuts, and then like I guess like the last shot could just be like a tank rolling up, and then like guy goes like this, and all you see is and then, like, that's it. Like you just see the flash of the barrel, and then that's it. You just assume Joe's dead.
Oh my god!
And then like after the credits, it's like the Iron Man, like the team, but you like hear like a growl, like that he's not dead. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's make that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take this entire movie. Stop.
It'll be a remake until that point.
Yeah. It'll be a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah.
I wonder if we can.
We'll revive Bill Paxton.
Oof. I was gonna say let's just get Rick Baker and then we'll see if he wants to put on the suit again.
Who's today's equivalent of Bill Paxton?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Who is today's equivalent of Bill Paxton?
Gerard Butler?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. Although Gerard Butler's very action heavy. I mean, granted, Bill Paxton was too, but...
There isn't yeah. So whenever I think of him, I think immediately of Aliens. So.
I think of Predator too. Not immediately. I think of this movie immediately when I think Bill Paxton.
Actually, whenever I think about him, I think of fucking. It has two different titles. Is it The Day or what the fuck is Live Die Repeat? I don't remember.
Was he in that?
Yeah,
Oh.
he was the general.
Oh, that's right.
I can't remember. Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah,
that movie. Yeah, he's great in that movie.
He's
great.
When I think Bill Paxton, I'm a little bit more weird. I think Titanic.
Oh yeah,
I've never seen Titanic
either.
Really?
It's a fucking 4-hour long movie.
No.
I don't have time for that.
It's only 3.
Yeah, well, you know what?
It came on 2 VHS tapes.
I was gonna say, you know what deterred me from ever watching it? 2 VHS tapes. I bought Goodfellas on DVD, and halfway through it was like flip for the other half. I was like, "You fucking kidding me?" It's like you mean I have to get up, take this disc out, flip it, and press play.
I'm pretty sure the early versions of DVDs, I think it was also on 2 DVDs as well.
Probably, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a ton of movies where you literally had to like exchange it for a second disc. Like the Lord of the Rings movies, the extended versions at least, you had to do that.
Right.
I imagine Titanic would be similar.
Yeah. It's like if somebody asked me, do you want to watch the Peter Jackson extended cut of King Kong? And it's like, I think I'd rather run a cheese grater over my skull.
We barely made it through the
theatrical cut.
Yeah, that's the theatrical.
Yeah, speaking of giant monkey movies, go ahead and watch our episode
go back and watch our episode on Peter Jackson's King Kong. Piggybacking on that Bill Paxton thing, I also think of him in Terminator.
Oh yeah,
for his one very small role as the punk.
Yeah.
Fuck you, asshole.
You asshole. But yeah,
I don't think there's much else to say about it.
There really isn't.
Yeah.
Very well done movie.
I will say I liked the actual suit of a gorilla better.
Yeah.
So, when did this movie come out exactly?
98.
Okay, so let's say 7 years before Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Mm.
Not detracting anything from Peter Jackson's King Kong being entirely CG motion capture, but I really enjoyed the look of like the actual like physical gorilla.
It doesn't feel like anybody in a suit.
Yeah,
it just feels like a gorilla.
Yeah,
like it's very well done.
All the facial features was amazing.
Yeah,
like
all the
close-ups
animatronics
and
of the
stuff.
mouth and everything that moved, like it all just
It
felt
looks like a
fluid.
real gorilla.
It looked like a real gorilla.
Like
it felt like a real gorilla.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's why this movie like holds up to me, is because it doesn't feel like a CG.
And I don't think a lot of people
like
remember this movie.
No, probably not.
They don't really talk about it.
No, which is weird.
For some reason, every time that, obviously a while before, you would bring this movie up, I would always like conflate it and confuse it with Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh God.
No, entirely different premise.
Yeah, truly, but you can see where
I've only seen. I've only seen
that
clips of that movie.
That's a fun movie.
Yeah, I've never
It's
watched
an interesting movie.
Hey, the guy who played the Predator played Harry. Kevin Peter Hall.
Well, are we ready for ratings? I guess.
Yeah, I think we are.
I haven't quite landed on mine yet, so you guys can go ahead.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It has its flaws, but it also has a lot of really good parts. In my opinion, it's well written up until the third act. Decently written up until the last 2 minutes. And the visual effects really still hold up to this day. It's got a lot of really good actors in it, and yeah, one of my favorites. So.
I'm just gonna piggyback on your 7. I'm gonna say 7 as well. Literally everything you said.
Music's really good too.
Yes.
Who could forget James Horner's score?
Yeah. So, like you said, really just a great movie up until
they start handing.
Here's money. Terrible.
How horrible is that? Yeah, I think I'm gonna echo that as well, because, like you had mentioned, the effects are great. The like them being on location, like in Africa, like those shots were awesome too. I could have done without the parts in the city, and the last like third of the movie is just an atrocity. So
I don't hate the city stuff.
I don't hate the city stuff. After watching like the Lost World Jurassic Park, it just feels recycled. Like it's like they were and I'm sure they were filming around the same time. And
I don't even know if I've ever seen that movie.
That's a good one too. I feel like probably like a producer went to go watch the Lost World Jurassic Park and went, shit. Like they're like, that's the same exact shit that we're doing right now. But yeah, it's yeah.
Well, there you have it. Another one down. I guess we have another recommendation coming our way from myself. I've been struggling with what to choose this week because the next episode is going to come out on the week of Thanksgiving, so I wanted to find a movie that kind of was in the spirit of Thanksgiving. Maybe not necessarily a Thanksgiving movie, but of that caliber. I think I finally landed on it. Aaron, you already know what it's going to be.
Yes!
My recommendation for next time is going to be Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
All right!
Okay.
Cool!
Because it's a road trip movie, really, and I don't think we've done any of those yet.
We have not.
So
I've come close to a movie that is almost this movie, but I have yet to suggest that one.
But yeah, it's a classic. John Candy
And Steve Martin.
John
And
Candy.
Kevin Bacon for a few seconds.
Yeah. John Candy taken from us too soon. But this is one of the good ones.
It is.
So if you don't want to be spoiled for next time, we will be having a spoiler discussion of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Thank you guys for watching and listening to our Gorilla Talk. We sure enjoyed having it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Share us, get us out there, all that fun jazz. And we'll see you in the next one. I don't have a good outro for this.
Monkey.
What was that on YouTube? Conk?
Conk, yeah.